All right. Well, hello everyone, and good morning, and thank you for being here today for the Save Girls Sports press conference and to head inside to CIF to tell them to protect girls sports. And I was thinking today, I'm a little heartbroken and disappointed that this is our third year of showing up to CIF, of having to tell them to protect girls sports, of having to tell them that these girls shouldn't be facing males in their locker room. 3 years of showing up. We've told them that this was an issue. And now today we have 8 girls here who have been directly affected by males and their sports and spaces. We're just asking for them to follow Title IX, to follow common sense. And even though I'm a little heartbroken over that, I am so excited to be standing with so many warriors here today. We have 8 current high school female athletes who have been directly affected because CIF hasn't stood up for them here today. We have school board members who are saying we stand with the girls. We want to protect girls. We want to protect Title IX here today. We have 2 state legislators here today to say that no matter what's happening at the Capitol, they stand with these girls and they stand for common sense, truth, and reality. And so we are going to continue to show up to CIF until they do what is right. The CIF members inside, we've told them that they have the opportunity to do the right thing, that we have attorneys that are willing to work with them pro bono to fix their policy. Unfortunately, since 2012, CIF has had Bylaw 300D, which has allowed people to play in sports based off of gender identity and not sex. So when CIF continues to tell you all that their hands are tied by the state, they're lying to you. They have their own policy that allows this to happen. And until they undo that policy, until they protect girls' sports, and until they stand with Title IX, their hands aren't tied by the state. They can fix it here within. They can be leaders and stand up for these girls. And so I am just beyond honored and privileged again to stand here with these girls. My name is Sophia Lorey. I'm the outreach director at California Family Council. I was a 4-year CIF varsity athlete and went on to play collegiate soccer in Southern California. And so I know what sports mean. I know what it brings to girls. I know it helps pay for your college. I know it teaches you things to use further in life. It brings you leadership. It brings you friendship. It brings you so much. And so when I was 10 years old, it was my dream to play college sports. And I knew I could achieve that dream as long as I put my mind to it and worked hard. And I did it. 10-year-old girls cannot say the same thing today because no matter how hard they work, we are biologically different than males. And we are going to continue to watch males steal first place spots, steal safety, and steal even college scholarships from these female athletes until we put an end to it. And so we're so excited that we have a presidential administration that's putting executive orders in place, that's standing with girls' sports, yet the California government has continued to stand against girls, to stand against common sense, and to stand against truth. So I'm so excited for you guys to hear from some of these speakers today. And so we'll kick off with one of the female athletes who is actually suing right now her school district and CIF over Title IX and the fact that she has had to compete alongside a male athlete all 4 years of high school. So Hadil, let's kick off with you.
Hi everyone, my name is Hadil Hazama and I competed with and against a man in high school sports for 3 years up until I decided to graduate early so I no longer have to deal with this issue. Although I no longer will face it, others will, and that's an issue. It's an issue of safety, privacy, and fairness for all women, not just me, so I want to fight for all women. That is why I want to fight for these girls who feel helpless in similar situations. Not only is it unfair and an issue of safety, privacy, and fairness for all women, but it's dangerous in contact sports and many women's privacies are stripped away. Yes, one of my personal reasons as to advocate for this fight is because of my religious beliefs, because I cannot change in front of men But you do not need religion to understand it is common sense that men are created different from women, and you don't need a faithful background to understand that it's basic biology. So I just want to say thank you all for coming out to support, and I'm glad to fight for women, not just for me and for the future of all women in sports.
Thank you. All right.
Hello everyone, my name is Madison McPherson, and I'm here today to share my experience playing with and against a male. I attended Harupa Valley High School, where the administration didn't care about my feelings or beliefs. I was robbed of many first place track medals due to the boy on the girls' track team. It was clear that he had a biological advantage, and it wasn't fair. It clearly goes against CIF Athletic Code of Ethics. Over the years, I witnessed the boy go through puberty, and no girl on the volleyball team had grew strength and agility like he did. Safety became an issue on the volleyball court, and I reported it many times, and they treated me as if I was the problem. I witnessed many girls get hurt, including my sister, and the school did nothing. It was unfair, unsafe, and it violated my privacy in the locker room. That's why I, along with my sister and Hadil, decided to hold CIF accountable. We filed a lawsuit against CIF to protect our rights as female athletes. Now, to be able to compete in high school sports, you have to fill out forms such as insurance card, immunizations, and a physical. On the physical form, we are asked, what is our sex, and it's verified by a physician. Your sex doesn't change. You're either born a male or a female. So I'm here to ask CIF to stop allowing schools like Harupa Valley High School to allow boys on their girls' teams. This is destroying the integrity of female sports, and CIF needs to protect the locker room safety and stop allowing boys to take achievements of hardworking girls. Thank you.
Good job.
Good morning, my name is Jessica Tapia. Almost 3 years ago exactly today, I was fired as a public school teacher, specifically a physical education teacher, for refusing the transgender policies that Harupa Unified School District put on me, specifically the high school that has allowed these girls behind me to be harmed. And one of the policies that I said no to was allowing boys in my girls' locker room. On top of lying to parents, I refused to do that, and even just lying to a student about who God made them to be. And just by saying no to those corrupt things that we know are harming children and families, I was fired. And it woke up the nation, quite frankly, and it was crazy to see. And now we've been fighting this battle for several years now. And I never thought it would be brought full circle for me in this way, that now I get to stand here and continue to be a voice for all of these brave girls. I think we need to be reminded today of the first line of our California Constitution, which says, we the people of the state of California, in order to secure, or grateful to our almighty God for our freedom, in order to secure and perpetuate its blessings, do establish this Constitution. We recognize God in our state constitution as the giver of our freedoms and blessings, but we've forgotten that God is also creator. God created male and female. He didn't merely create human and then say, now go choose what you want to identify as. The core of this issue that we're gathered here today over is we've neglected God's design. And when you do that, things don't go well. People are hurt. And the injustice of this state allowing boys and girls sports and spaces has gone beyond girls losing privacy in locker rooms, losing medals, losing spots on sports teams. Girls are being sexually harassed. Let's say it for what it is. These girls behind me are being slapped on their butts by a boy on the volleyball team. When did that become normal? Where is our righteous anger? And CIF refuses to do a thing. How bad does it need to get before the cowards in this building behind us take action? How hurt do one of your daughters need to get before they finally listen to us? I am proud and honored to work for Advocates for Faith and Freedom. We're the law firm leading the charge here in California to save girls' sports. And how sad that we've even had to come up with this phrase. Look, we've talked to CIF time and time again. They're choosing to be cowards. They know the right thing to do, but they're refusing to do it because they are just doing their job. If your job costs you your morals and truth, that's a problem. So we at Advocates for Faith and Freedom are seeking justice for these brave female athletes. We have sued CIF, we have sued the California Department of Education, and we have sued all the school districts that are allowing this to happen for female athletes. But let me also mention, we can only take on these legal battles if girls like the ones behind me are brave enough to stand up and say, I'm not just gonna be a voice over this injustice, I'm gonna seek justice too, so it doesn't continue happening. I'm so proud of the girls behind me and all of the individuals here today, because just by being here and being a voice, we put a target on our back. My own daughters are very young and aren't competitive athletes yet, but athleticism runs in their blood. So I fight today so they won't have to face this corruption tomorrow. CIF, do the right thing or give your seat up to someone who will. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Taylor Starling. I am here today as a CIF student athlete. Competing in high school sports has shaped who I am in many ways. It has taught me discipline, leadership, perseverance, and what it means to work hard towards a goal. Last season, I worked incredibly hard to earn a spot on my high school's CIF Division I cross-country varsity team. My amazing coaches worked hard right alongside me to help me achieve that goal. I showed up to practice and did everything that was asked of me. I held that spot all season until a male athlete was placed on the girls' team in October. He was not expected to attend practice, while I did everything that was required of a varsity athlete. I woke up for early morning practice and ran 6 miles with my team after school, all while juggling homework and extra classes like all of the other girls. This boy was given special treatment by our athletic director and other district administrators. He was not required to meet the same expectations all girls were required to meet in order to race on the varsity team. After learning about what was happening to girls' sports, Caitlin and I, using our First Amendment rights, wore our Save Girls Sports shirts to practice, and my athletic director made me remove my shirt and said it was like wearing a swastika in front of a Jewish person, and threatened disciplinary action if I wore it again. My First Amendment rights were and continue to be violated, and I was treated unfairly and more harshly by Riverside Unified administrators solely because I am a girl. I guess they expect me to sit down and be quiet and just step aside, but I will never be silenced, and I will never stop fighting for girls and our equal rights. Thank you.
Girl power, exactly. Good morning. My name is Ryan Starling. I'm the father of Taylor Starling. Sorry, hold it closer. My name is Ryan Starling. I'm the father of Taylor Starling. I just got to say, you girls are amazing. You girls are awesome. To see what you guys have to go through and what you're doing here, and to see the growth, because of each time you speak up, every other girl gets the confidence to speak up. And it's just amazing to see what you guys are going through and still have a voice, and you're not silenced. And look at what this has grown into from last year. This is just amazing, and you guys should be so proud of yourselves. Again, my daughter had her rights violated through her school district. She had a boy that was on her team and placed on her team that only attended approximately 13 practices and was still placed on varsity, and she was displaced. And then when she exercised her First Amendment rights and wore her shirt, she was compared to a Nazi wearing a swastika. That is just shameful. I remember as a father holding her. She was 3 pounds 1 ounce when she was born. She had breathing tubes in her. She had feeding tubes in her. And I remember holding her in the palm of my hand, vowing to let nobody ever hurt her. And I will continue to honor that until the day I die. And I will continue to fight for all of these girls because of that. What a lot of people don't know is Taylor's a triplet. So she shared a womb with her sister and her brother. Got the same nutrients, got the same everything. She is now 5'4". Her brother is 6'4". So you can't tell me that there is not a difference between men and women, a foot difference. right? Shared the same womb, same nutrients, same everything. That's the difference. That's what we are fighting for. These girls deserve their own spaces. They deserve the right to compete on their own team and not on co-ed sports, okay? Now, dads, we need all the dads out there to stand up for these girls. Yes. Okay? Don't be silenced. Be the leader. Speak up. It encourages these young women. We cannot be silenced, but let's do it with grace and with kindness. Okay? And I just hope that all these girls know that we all have your backs and continue to fight. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Celeste Deist. I'm a senior who competes in track at Arroyo Grande High School. I'd like to begin by saying God made each individual in his divine image. Genesis 1:27 says, So God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God, he created them. Male and female, he created them. What is currently happening in our society is an attack on not only truth, but on religion. There's a boy who watches girls change in the locker room at my school. He doesn't change, he's already dressed. He merely watches. This is not disturbing to anybody. CIF, why are you allowing the subjection of young girls to exploitive and intrusive behavior that is disguised through transgender ideology? Does CIF care about any of our safety, or does it just care about the agenda that's attacking women? If they do care, please make a change. There are boys who compete against us girls. I'll remind you, boys have different anatomy, bone structure, and they don't have a menstrual cycle, which plays a large factor in athletic performance. This isn't new information. This is factuality. The intrusion we are facing is degrading and just embarrassing. So many young girls are being humiliated, violated, and displaced. This isn't a matter of hate. It's the fact our privacy is being compromised and our sports are being taken over. Please listen. Stop forgetting about us and allowing the erasure of women from athletics. CIF, we need each of you to help restore girls' sports and spaces.
Good morning, and thank you to everyone that is here today. We are standing here outside the CIF meeting for one reason, because the voices of female athletes in California will not be ignored. I'm Assemblymember Kate Sanchez. Last year I introduced AB 89, the Protect Girls Sports Act, to defend fairness, safety, and equal opportunity for girls in sports. Politicians killed that bill in committee, but they didn't kill this movement. And they didn't silence these athletes. Title IX was never meant to be controversial. It was meant to guarantee girls a fair shot, a fair race, a fair roster, and a fair opportunity to win. It created scholarships, it created confidence, it created generations of strong, successful women. And now that is being chipped away piece by piece. Across California, girls are being forced to compete against biological males. They're losing podium spots, losing championships, losing scholarships they have trained their entire lives for. Some are even losing the basic right to privacy and safety in their own locker rooms. Let me be clear. That is not equality. That is not progress. And we will not pretend like it is. CIF leadership has a responsibility to protect girls, not sideline them, not silence them, and not sacrifice them to political pressure. Policies have consequences, and right now those consequences are falling squarely on young women who did everything right. But look around. These athletes are not backing down. These parents are not backing down. And I promise you, we are not backing down. We stand with these courageous young women who are speaking up, even when it is so hard. We stand with the families who just want fairness. And we stand with every girl in California who deserves a level, safe playing field, a safe place to compete. This isn't about politics. It's about principle. It's about protecting the opportunities generations of women have fought for. So to CIF leadership, we say this: listen to our athletes. Have the courage to do what is right and restore fairness to girls' sports. Because when you sideline girls, we will stand up. When you ignore them, we will amplify them. And until every single biological female athlete in California has a fair shot at competing, we will not stop fighting. Thank you.
Well, good morning, everybody. My name is David Tongipa. I'm the Assemblyman for the 8th District. And I want to say it's unfortunate that we have to be here today. This was something that we believed was settled already, back when Title IX was put in place, so our women, our young ladies, had a space where they felt safe, where they could compete. Why or how is it somehow believed Nazi ideology when you just want a place to dress freely? Why and how is it Nazi ideology when you want to play in your sport freely? Why do we ignore safeguards and disregard biology and reality, which is insanity? And we're standing before you today because we demand not only CIF, but our other elected leaders, including the majority leaders that were here just a few seconds ago, to stand up. If you say you protect women, if you say you listen to them, prove it. Prove it to them right now. Not only that, I am here to challenge every single father to let them know there are boys in your daughter's locker rooms. There are boys in your daughter's sports. And where are you? Will you stand before them? Will you stand behind them? Because the leaders of the next generation are right here behind us. So it will take the elected leadership to step up, hear their voices. It will take the fathers to listen to their daughters, to their instructors, the ones that are just begging them to stand up and have courage. So we wanted to prove that there are leadership in this state that has the courage to stand up, push back against this subjective ideology that is referring to us as Nazis. It's ridiculous. Lastly, I just want to talk about my personal story. I played football at Fresno State. I realized there are differences, not just between boys and girls, but between other athletes. When I got there, I had dreams to go and play in the NFL. I had a buddy of mine, he was 17 years old, one of my best friends, comes in. He benched 500 pounds, he squatted 600 pounds, and I knew right there I was really good at school. There are biological differences between every single human being out there. I have been 6'4" since the 8th grade. I understand that these girls deserve something to have as their own, their safe space, and I'm damn sure committed to make sure that we're protecting that. Whether it's a ballot initiative, a law after law after law, we will keep fighting. You have that commitment from all of us. Thank you for letting us join you.
Hi everyone, my name is Audrey Van Herweg. I'm a 4-year varsity thrower at Aurora Grande High School. I'm here to speak for myself, for my teammates, and for my young girl cousins who play basketball, softball, and tennis. I don't want them to ever have to compete against a boy who cheats us girls out of fair competition. 2 years ago, right after winter break, I started hearing rumors of a boy in the girls' locker room. I was appalled, but because I had no real interaction with him, I didn't do anything. But as track season rolled around, I found out that he was going to compete as a girl. Now this directly impacted me, and I wasn't going to go into the locker room and change in front of a boy who wasn't changing himself, but simply watching all of the girls undress. At this moment, I decided that I wasn't going to put myself in this compromising situation, so I decided to change in my car. I'm more comfortable changing in my car than in my own school's locker room, where boys are welcomed to watch girls undress. I'm a thrower, and having a boy compete against girls is completely unfair. Boys have the strength advantage, so they throw heavier implements. Throw heavier implements than girls. So if a boy decides to throw as a girl, he not only has the strength advantage, but also has a lighter implement. I'm speaking out against CIF policy not only for myself, but for all of the other girls. Girls who are too afraid to speak out, girls who don't know what's going on, and girls who haven't been born yet. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Reese Hogan and I did track and field at Korean Lutheran High School. I'm a varsity tri-sport athlete and I have dedicated most of my life to sports. This has all come with sacrifice, relentless effort to my sport. Track is not something that I do, it's who I am. I train to push my limits, to compete fairly, and to earn every achievement through hard work. But over the past 2 years, that fairness has been taken away from me. On May 4th, 2024, May 10th, 2025, May 17th, 2025, May 30th, 2025, and on January 31st, 2026, I competed in meets where I lost to a male athlete competing in girls' track and field. These are not just isolated incidents, they are repeated moments where female athletes like me were directly affected by policies that ignore reality. Last spring at CIF finals, I competed in the triple jump. I jumped 37.2, earning a new personal record and breaking my school's record. It was one of the proudest moments of my athletic career. That jump should have earned me first place. Instead, I placed second. First place went to a male athlete who jumped 41.4, beating me by over 4 feet. I felt pride in my accomplishment, but also deep disappointment because my hard work, my record-breaking performance, and my rightful title were taken away from me simply because CIF allowed a male to compete in the girls' division. What hurt me even more was realizing that CIF did not listen to the concerns of female athletes. In fact, they created specific rules that prevented athletes from even expressing how we felt about the situation. It became clear that protecting the male athletes' participation mattered more than protecting fairness, safety, privacy, and opportunity for female athletes. That is not equality. This issue is often dismissed as something that is rare or insignificant, but that could not be further from the truth. Men competing in women's sports is happening repeatedly, and it has real consequences. Titles are being taken, records are erased, scholarships and opportunities are lost. In some cases, women are even put at risk of injury. These outcomes are not hypothetical, they are happening to real athletes like me who have worked their entire lives for these moments. I'm a competitive person. I love being challenged. I thrive on pushing myself to be better than I was yesterday. No amount of training can erase physical differences, and pretending otherwise only harms female athletes. Athletes like me train through pain, exhaustion, and pressure. We push ourselves to the breaking point to earn our place. Allowing a male to step into women's sports and take those achievements away is not progress, it's erasure. CIF, why won't you do anything? By allowing men to compete in women's sports, you are putting girls in danger and stripping them of their fair competition. There is a reason sports are divided by sex, and that is obvious. Fairness and safety. It is not a matter of opinion, it's a matter of fact. If men and women competed together, it would not be equal and it would not be safe. Yet that is exactly what is being forced upon female athletes. You are protecting males competing in women's sports more than you are protecting the women the sport was created for. CIF, make it make sense and protect girls in girls' sports. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Olivia Viola and I'm a senior and I've been doing track for 4 years now. Last track season, I had to compete against a male several times with my teammate Reese. We are about to be in the exact same situation this season despite all of our effort to push back. I've been on the news twice, interviewed, involved in rallies, press conferences, petitions, written so many speeches, and so have most of these girls. Nothing can express the disappointment and frustration of knowing that after everything, nothing has changed. I would like to get to enjoy my last high school track season without dealing with the deep cut of this injustice and the mental toll that it takes. But unfortunately, the only people standing up for high school female athletics in California are high school female athletes and their families. Let's be real, I'm 17. I shouldn't have to be the Fox News girl, and I shouldn't have to be attending press conferences for what feels like common sense. but so long as God keeps giving me a platform, I will keep using it to the best of my ability. I am ready to walk into that building and force these board members to face the truth of the harm they're causing. The people that should be standing up for me and for us are sitting at their desks and shutting their mouths in the name of political accuracy. They have ignored us and ignored our pain. I wrestled a lot with my anger as a Christian, but I started to realize that Jesus flipped tables out of anger when the sacred spaces he gave them were being misused. We too need to stand up and call it out when our spaces are being misused and our rights ignored. Over the summer, I attended a mock government camp in Sacramento, and we were discussing potential bills to pass within our government. And when the issue of men invading female spaces came up, I overheard two girls saying that it just wasn't important enough, and it was just too much of a rare case to care about. The rights of biological women will always be important enough. Look around. If it was such a rare case, would we really have been able to gather all these people who have been affected just in one small fraction of the country? And this isn't even all of them. Stories of assault, injury, and stolen opportunities. If you're not mad, you're just not paying attention. This will always be worth fighting for, even when it gets hard. I want to thank you and Sophia and all of the people who have stood faithfully beside us, and I'm so proud of everyone here, especially my fellow athletes who have refused to be ignored. We must restore the integrity of female spaces. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Allison Foote, Treasurer for the Independent Council on Women's Sports, here to call on the CIF once again to honor its moral, ethical, and legal responsibility to protect its 360,000 female athletes. The CIF's policy of allowing boys to compete on girls' teams doesn't impact 1 or 10 or 1%. It impacts 360,000 young women. 40% of the athletes competing in CIF have no right to fair competition under CIF rules. The CIF knew from the start that this policy was bad. Executive Director Roger Blake acknowledged in 2012 that the policy would have far-reaching unintended consequences and implemented a review panel and 2 pages of guidelines to ensure that students could not abuse it as a way to participate in sports. Yet 14 years later, the panel is gone, the guideline is barely a paragraph that removes all accountability, and boys can self-ID into any girls' sport they choose. The CIF's poorly crafted pilot compromise in track and field last May was nothing short of an admission that its policy is unfair and its prolonged disregard for its female athletes cannot be sustained. But today, momentum is on our side. Look at this crowd, it's amazing. The years of living under the weight of a fake consensus that silenced debate with name-calling, imposed rules that were nothing more than administrative coercion, and forced us all to pretend that any boy atop a girl's podium was stunning and brave, those days are over. The culture is changing. The number of CIF female athletes, minor children, taking time off school to defend their rights before you because the adults in the room have failed them is growing. And normal people like me from all walks of life and religions and across the political spectrum who went from working and raising a family to somehow standing in front of a crowd on a sidewalk to say that men can never be women, we're all here for it too, and we're going to win. CIF, you are placating a loud faction to the detriment of your mandate to serve the public good. Do right by your female athletes. Stand with the 360,000 young women whose safety, privacy, and opportunity you are obligated to protect. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Sarai McCullough. I'm a former athlete and the chapter president of Young Women for America Inland Empire. I am here today to proudly stand alongside these brave female athletes who are boldly speaking up against blatant unfairness. I competed in karate for over 10 years and worked tirelessly to win multiple national championships and world titles as a black belt. I know firsthand the sacrifice, the time, the dedication that these young women pour into their sport every single day. I also know that my success was only possible because I never had to compete against a biological male. The strength, speed, and physiological advantages of the males I trained with were undeniable. And for those differences only grew as we got older. Forcing women and girls to compete against males is discriminatory, and it puts female athletes' safety and achievements at risk. Title IX was enacted 50 years ago to ensure that women have a protected and fair place in athletics. But today, that promise is being undermined as female athletes lose privacy, safety, and opportunities. If we remain silent on this issue, we will have failed our past, present, and future generations of women. CIF, stop ignoring the voices of girls and women. You have the authority and the responsibility to uphold fairness and dignity in competition. Stand for what is right. Each person is fearfully and wonderfully made by God, intentionally and with purpose. Upholding God's design for men and women is not hate. It is good, it is true, and it is common sense. CIF, we ask you to put a stop to this chaos and champion women's sports. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Victoria Thomas, and I am a former athlete and a Young Women for America Fellow. I'm here today standing for truth, speaking for fairness, and calling on CIF to do the same. I'm the woman I am today in large part due to the athletic opportunities I had. Title IX was created to protect women and promote our opportunities, and yet here we are with the CIF neglecting its entire original purpose. Girls' sports are for girls only. It's in the name. This is not about hate. It is about acknowledging the dignity of every individual. Sports distinguished by biological sex does not prevent participation for anyone, but respects the safety and dignity for all athletes. When God created you in your mother's womb, you were not a mistake. You were not born in the wrong body. I am deeply saddened that the adults in these children's lives didn't stop them from making life-altering and destructive decisions based on feelings, but feelings cannot dictate policy. We must stop this tornado of destruction for both boys and girls. If we continue with this chaos, women's sports will cease to exist in California, and more trauma will occur as young girls are forced to change in locker rooms with and compete against women. What a deep tragedy that would be for hundreds of thousands of women and girls across our state. It already has been. It's not too late, CIF. Girls' sports are for girls only. Please uphold policy that acknowledges such sacred and essential truth. Thank you.
Hello. I would like to invite all the board members that had traveled across different parts of California to join me. Please, school board members. I have us all. I know it looks like a small, but it is a mighty group because we do represent the majority of California. And although the school board members here might be the minority, we're going to ensure that the majority of school board members are elected in November to support our girls. My name is Sonia Shaw, and I am the Chino Valley Unified School Board President, and I am the fierce mama bear of two amazing female athletes who are my reason why, alongside all these amazing athletes and the girls across California. Today I'm here with the growing coalition of school board members from across California. Some are standing beside me, others cannot be here, but together we represent board members, parents, and students who are standing for truth and standing for justice for our girls. Girls' sports are being sacrificed at the altar of ideology, and the harm is irreversible. You've heard some of it today. CIF cannot undo the damage already done. The missed medals, the lost podium moments, the stolen scholarship opportunities, the very real emotional harm suffered by the young woman. But what CIF can do is change course now. They can stop compounding the harm, and they can start doing the right thing. The last time I was here, I addressed CIF leadership. I asked them a simple question: which one of you will stand for our girls? Not one hand went up, not one voice. It was silence. I will ensure every single one after today gets their face blasted across California for harming our girls. That is a promise. The silence is disgusting. It's not leadership. It's enabling the harm being done to our daughters, and enough is enough already. Title IX was created for one reason: to protect our girls. Not feelings, not politics, not adults' agendas. Girls, females. Yet today, our daughters are told to stay quiet. They change in their cars, they lose opportunities, they watch boys take what they earned. They are told to accept unfairness, they give up podiums, awards, scholarship, and most importantly, their safety, while adults in charge look the other way. Some even celebrate this harm. This is cowardice. Boys do not belong in girls' sports. Girls deserve fairness. Girls deserve safety. Girls deserve adults who are brave enough to say no when institutions will not. I authored a school board resolution that has now passed in only 17 districts. And let me be clear, there's others it failed in. And that's okay, because those districts, those people that voted no to protect our girls, they're already facing recalls. And those board members that voted no, look at me. You will be voted out when the time comes, and we will ensure somebody gets in that seat that represents and protects our girls. That is a promise. Yeah. We're done with the bureaucracy. We are done with officials who allow harm on our watch. And we are done pretending this is complicated. It's very simple. How did we reach a moment in history where adults sit back and watch young girls being harmed and do nothing? The majority of California, I am speaking to you now. It's time to do something. The ballot time, it's time for you to vote in those that will protect our girls, period. Look, we're done with the silence. We're done with the gaslighting. Girls are suffering. Real harm is being allowed on adults' watch. We're done letting California fail its girls. We see you, girls. We love you. And to those harming you, we are standing strong in front of these girls. We are not backing down, and if you threaten our lives, I say get the stretcher, because you have to go through us before you get to these girls. We're standing on the right side of history. You are on the wrong, and your names will be remembered. Those who refuse to act will be remembered as those who allowed harm to these young female athletes, and you will have your names written in history, trust me. Standing with me are leaders who will not back down until justice is served. Justice for our girls is not optional. It's our responsibility. History will remember who stood, and history will remember those that cowered out. Now let me be clear. Come June, actually May, we're going to win the state superintendent seat, and that is my first action item, is to ensure we're following federal Title IX. I promise you we were going to do everything to win that seat, and from June to November, when November comes, we'll get more board members to stand with me. So the first thing we do is protect our girls. Thank you.
Let's make one thing clear. This is not a partisan issue. This is common sense. You're seeing signs back here saying Democrats for Title IX. We have Democrats, Republicans, Christians, atheists gathering together to say no more males and female sports, no more males and female spaces. And so you guys heard from two wonderful assembly members today that are standing with these girls. What you might have not seen is there's a third assembly member that is here today. Assemblymember Josh Lowenthal was here, and so I invited him. I walked over and I said, we would love for you to come stand with these girls. This is not a partisan issue. This is common sense standing for girls. They need protection. And if you want to come stand for these girls and their protection, their safety, come on and speak. Guess who didn't take me up on that offer? So let's make clear to all of the leaders who are not standing with girls, we will make your names known. Silence is not neutrality anymore. You stand up with us or you are against girls. That is where we're hitting. I want to make something else clear. No one is being banned from sports. We're just going back to what we've always done. Boys play with boys, girls play with girls. Everyone gets to play sports if they want. You just have to play on the team aligned with your sex. That is all that we are saying. And also, to all the CIF members, there's 77 days until your next Federated Council meeting. You have 77 days to reach out to us for help. We're here to help you. We want to fix your policy. We want to protect these girls, and we want to come alongside and do it with you. If you have not done so and reached out in the next 77 days, you need to resign and give up your seat, or you need to publicly declare that CIF is not allowing you to protect girls' sports. I don't understand, as a grown adult, how you can sit on a council that allows boys to be in girls' spaces and continue to sit on it without speaking out or saying anything. You have 77 days from today to ask for help, to speak out, and to publicly resign if they do not allow you to do anything from within. And so with that, we are going to head into the CIF conference now. We're going to tell CIF that they need to protect girls' sports. We're going to work hard to make sure these girls get to share their stories directly with CIF. And we will show up again and again and again until girls' sports are protected in California. And when I played soccer, my dad would tell me before games, have at it. It meant to leave everything on the field, to win every 50-50 ball, to do whatever you can to score a goal or stop a goal from happening. I knew when he told me to have at it, it was time to go win that game. And so to all the girls here today, to all the parents, the school board members, the assembly members, it's time we have at it. And press, we're going to take a second for opportunity for questions, if there's any questions from the press. All right, well, if we're good to go then on that, we're going to head inside now to the CIF February Council meeting.